So whatever your version of impossible is, just start with a walk. A year or so, I'd lost about 50 pounds. Somehow, 1 mile at a time, I got it done. And here's the thing, quitting drinking turned out to be way, way harder than the Ironman. So the hardest thing I ever did wasn't finishing that Ironman in 34 degrees Celsius heat, huge humidity in Des Moines, Iowa. No, it wasn't. It was actually quitting drinking. The truth is that one made the other possible. Because the day that I crossed that finish line in Des Moines, brutal day, took me 15 hours. I thought I was gonna die. I thought I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit every single step of that day, but that day changed my life forever. But to really understand that, I gotta take you guys back. I gotta take you back to where it all started. And that's the day my dad was diagnosed with cancer. I'm Rob Tatro, guys. I host a podcast with my brother, The Running Journey. I've been on quite the running journey in a while. Looks like I'm balding and looks like I'm wearing a Christmas shirt today. We have our staff Christmas party today, so I'm living it up. Looks like you guys liked the last video, so I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about my story, and I'll never forget where I was when I got the news. I was in my hot tub. I was drinking with buddies, and I got the call from my mom that my dad had stage 4 cancer, and he might not make the night. And I didn't know what to do with myself. I thought my dad was gonna die, so I called my mom, and I went for a walk, and it felt so good. It felt so liberating. That walk, that first walk that I took with my mom changed everything. The fresh air, the silence, the rhythm of my feet, the mental clarity in my head. It gave me space to breathe, to process, to take it all in. And for the first time in a long time, I felt calm. So the next day, I went for another walk, and then again, and I kept walking, and I felt good. And I was dealing with this thing for my dad and walking with my mom. It became my thing. It became the one moment in my day where I could think clearly. And then one afternoon I thought, what if I could run to that pole over there? Could I run to that pole over there? You know, I ran in high school, could probably run to that pole. So I did that. And honestly, guys, it felt amazing. It felt unbelievable. I wasn't moving fast. I was a big guy, 250 pounds, but it felt unbelievable. And so that became my thing. I wanted to see how far I could run. A couple hundred meters here, half a kilometer there. Next thing you know, I'm running 1 kilometer, then a mile, a couple miles. Next thing you know, within a few months, I was able to get up to 5 kilometers. I wasn't moving fast, but I was running. I was running 5 kilometers. At that point, I was a big dude. I was fat. I was overweight. I weighed 250 pounds. I was embarrassed by how far I had let myself go. I would lose my breath when I was chasing my kids up the stairs or playing tag with my son, and I couldn't move. But these short runs started to change me. My confidence started growing. My energy started coming back. Running became therapy for me. It was a way for me to deal with everything that was going on in my life. And I know that some people deal with way worse things than your dad getting cancer, but for me in that moment, it felt like the end of the world. It was difficult for me. And during this time, my dad kept fighting his battle, and I kind of realized that I have to fight mine. Within a year or so, I'd lost about 50 pounds, and within a year and a half, I'd lost 65 pounds. I was racing, I was running, I was doing marathons. I felt alive. I was doing track work. I was running as fast as I could, 3-hour marathons. It was like I had finally woken up from years of being asleep. I was alive. And somewhere along the way, I got this crazy idea. What if I could do an Ironman? Could I do an Ironman? This is like 12 months after I'd run my first marathon. I'll never forget the first time I broke 4 hours. I was chatting with my brother and I was like, now what? I broke a 4-hour marathon, now what? My brother said, you should do an Ironman. And I was like, Ironman? Could I do an Ironman? I used to think that Ironman athletes were superheroes, right? It was like impossible for anyone to do an Ironman. But that day, my brother gave me the idea, planted the seed, and I thought, those guys can do it. Why can't I do an Ironman? But I knew that I could change, right? I had changed. I had proof that I could change. So I signed up. I always believe in signing up for stuff because then you're committed. You're forced to do it, right? If you sign up for a marathon or a half or a 10K, you're kind of forced to go out and train for it. So I'm a big believer in signing up. I went out and I signed up for this Ironman. It was in Des Moines, Iowa, in the middle of summer, and I didn't really care about the time. All I wanted to do was finish. I wanted to finish this Ironman. Could I finish an Ironman? Overweight Rob, could I finish an Ironman? So I trained. I bought a bike. I bought a wetsuit. I started training. I gave myself about 6 months to do this race. Could I train for an Ironman in 6 months? I was biking a lot. I was running a ton. I was swimming. I was doing 15-hour weeks and eventually became 16 and 17. And eventually I was doing 20-hour training weeks with the personal training, the biking, the swimming, and the running. And I actually loved it. I loved it because I had that goal in the future. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna I'm gonna complete an Ironman. This thing's gonna be unbelievable. June 2022, Des Moines, extreme heat, 34 degrees Celsius, humidity in the 90s. People were dropping everywhere. It was a difficult day. I never thought that signing up for an Ironman would be this difficult. 35% of the people didn't finish the race, and honestly, I thought I wouldn't finish either. The bike killed me. The swim was so long. By the time I got to the run, it was already dark. Time was ticking. I was running out of time to finish this thing, and I had no desire to finish this thing. I was in so much pain, and I couldn't do it, and I couldn't put one foot in front of another. I was just walking this thing. And every part of my body told me to quit, right? I was thinking, no one's gonna blame you for quitting, Rob, right? It's not easy. It's a tough day. Why don't you just quit? It's so easy to quit. Just quit. But I couldn't stop. I just kept moving, slowly, stubbornly, thinking of my dad and his cancer. He's battling. Why can't I battle? I can battle. 1 mile at a time. My buddy Trav was there. He was also doing an Ironman. He was a loop ahead of me at the course, a 3-loop course on the run. And he ran with me for a bit, encouraged me. And mile by mile, they started chipping away. Kilometer by kilometer, they started disappearing. 10K, 15K, 20K, I'm halfway done. Somehow, 1 mile at a time, I got it done. I finished the Des Moines Ironman in just under 15 hours. It was a long, torturous, painful day. And when I finished, I didn't feel joy. I actually felt emptiness inside of me. I had that dopamine crash. I was just like, this was supposed to be the greatest thing ever, and it wasn't. I just felt empty inside. Later that night, as I was sitting there with a medal around my neck, just contemplating life, it started hitting me. I'd started thinking of everything that got me there. The walks, the runs, the weight loss, the battles in my head. And then it hit me. If I can do that, I can literally do anything that I set my mind to. I can do it. You can do it, Rob. And that's when I decided that I was gonna quit drinking. For years, I had tried and I had failed. It's not easy. It's not easy to quit drinking. It always felt impossible, right? I'd stop for a month or two and then I'd pick it up again, or I'm just gonna slow down this time. I never managed to actually quit. And I'd just done something impossible, something I never thought I'd be able to do. And that belief was enough to get me to try again. And here's the thing, quitting drinking turned out to be way, way harder than the Ironman. There's no crowd, there's no medal, there's no finish line. Every day, it's just you showing up, making conscientious decisions about yourself, you working on yourself, continuously thinking about what you want to be and what you want to do. I use the same mindset that I used in training for my Ironman to actually quit drinking. One day at a time, keep moving forward and don't quit when it hurts. And you know what? Over time, it worked. The same discipline that I brought Ironman training, the same discipline that got me to the finish line on that scorching day in Des Moines has kept me sober since that day. And at first I was so embarrassed about quitting drinking. I would tell people, oh, I'm not drinking for now, I'm training for a race. Because admitting that you quit drinking means admitting that you're a flawed individual. It means you admit that you have a problem. And if you have a problem, that means you're not perfect, right? And it's hard to admit, I have a problem. But over time, I embraced it, right? I am training for an Ironman. I am sober, right? Being sober is my race. Being sober is my Ironman, and I'm living it every single day. And now people see me and they think, that guy is an addict. That guy is addicted to running. But the truth is, I run because it brings me that mental clarity. I run because it brings me joy. I run because I feel great when I do it. I run because it gives me the same thing that first walk gave me, right? Clarity, peace, perspective. So for me, it started with a walk, then it was a jog, and now it's a life I never thought I'd be able to have. So movement gave me clarity. The Ironman gave me belief, and that belief gave me the freedom that I have today. So whatever your version of impossible is, just start with a walk. Good luck. Okay.